Yes, you read the title right. Ruben Amorim deserves more time and needs more, support from the fans because Manchester United fans are already asking for his head. They are already asking for him to change his system. Lads, do you not understand? When Eric Ten Hag was sacked and Ruben Amorim was brought in, he was brought in crazy circumstances mid-season. All right, in the middle of the season, he was brought in, and then boom, he implemented his system. Now he had a whole, basically off season to be able to work with the players to better adapt to the three back and the double midfield pivot. Now it's not working out for the first 4 games, and they're already asking for him to be sacked. Lads, how are you going to give up on this already? Do you not know that Sir Alex Ferguson took 7 years as manager before he won a Premier League title? So if the great Sir Alex Ferguson, basically Manchester United fans, god of managers, took 7 years to win a Premier League title, why do you think Rúben Amorim doesn't deserve any time? Man United, ever since Sir Alex Ferguson, left United, they have brought in tons of managers. It goes from all-time greats like Mourinho to Louis van Gaal to even within your own former players like Ole. You even brought in Ten Hag from the Netherlands. All these managers. And you've yet to go back to the glory days. And why? Because you don't give them time. You are not patient with them at all. Suddenly they go through a bad stint. They get sacked. They bring in another guy. He has early success. Then boom, bad stint. Sacked. That's the recurring formula with Man United, and it's led them to finish 15th last season. Now, you may be saying, well, Rúben Amorim's playing a, unpopular formation of a 3-back and 2 midfielders. That doesn't typically succeed. Well, people forget as well that Chelsea won a Champions League with a similar formation with Thomas Tuchel, who is now England's manager. I just want you to say. So that formation can actually be successful when you have the right players. Now, many people are saying that Rúben Amorim's win percentage is the worst of any permanent Manchester United manager since World War II. It's such a small sample size, and this is genuinely just a way to kind of push an agenda, which is that Rúben Amorim's one of the worst managers ever. But genuinely, what do you want him to do when you brought him in last season mid-year with after an Eric Ten Hag transfer window? They brought in Eric Ten Hag targets, not Rúben Amorim targets. Now, this season, they catered a little bit more to Amorim. He got a couple players in as well. But the thing is, it's barely been. We're on week 4, about to hit week 5 of the Premier League, and you're already giving up on Rúben Amorim because he has a small winning percentage. Something I want you to understand is Mourinho and Ten Hag are the two, right under Ferguson. Do they have a Premier League to show for it? Do they have a Champions League to show for it? So why does winning percentage matter so much here if genuinely their winning percentage is so high because they won lots of games but don't have anything to show for it? So Alex Ferguson, his percentage is 59%. And he was substantially better than Ten Hag and Mourinho, right? Because if you go and check his first 3 years, right? Let's say first 3 years of Ferguson's winning percentage, I could tell you right now it's going to be drastically less than that 59.67 that he left off with. I'll tell you that much. So in order to be able to build Man United, you have to rebuild it, which Ferguson was given time and patience. 7 years, and then you're telling me that United fans are regretting giving Sir Alex Ferguson all that time? No, he won them tons of titles. He definitely was worth the wait. And I'm not saying maybe Rúben Amorim's not the answer, but you'll never find out if you don't give him time, you don't give him support. That's the problem with today's Manchester United. They're just not willing to do that at all. Now, something I want to show is that these are two players that were absolutely ridiculed by Man United fans. Højlund last season couldn't score a goal to save his life in the Prem. Ends up leaving first game back in Italy, right, with Napoli. Scores on his debut on David De Gea, familiar face. And I'm telling you this right now, it was because he left United. There's something wrong with United because we see all these guys leave Man United. We've seen, Sancho end up in a Champions League final shortly after being loaned out. by Dortmund. Rashford turning into a different beast when he went to Villa. You see Anthony looking good with Betis. It's something wrong with United. It's not the players, it's not the manager, it's the club itself. Because even Onana, who was virtually the worst goalkeeper in the Premier League last season, man of the match in his debut at a new club. Man of the match. These two guys, first game, no time to adapt, and they've already performed. Meanwhile, Man United, Benjamin Sesko, getting nicknamed for, and on his way to being Agent 007, because he got his first start against Man City and was a non-factor. New goalkeeper, Lamens comes in, scored 3 goals on him, and he couldn't build out of the back. So, and then if you really want to sack Amorim at the end of the day, there's not really any options out there in the transfer window, in the manager market, because you have Unai Emery as your leading candidate. Unai Emery will not come into Man United and fix the culture. Unai Emery's a win now kind of manager, the same way that Antonio Conte is. He'll come in and he'll give you success right away, but he's not going to be the manager that United fans want. If you don't want no patience, yeah, Emery might get you top 6 next year. Let's say if he were brought in tomorrow. But the thing is, he's not going to last. The same way Antonio Conte doesn't last. The same way, managers like that kind don't really last. So that's not really what Man United are looking for, because that's what they've had since 2013. And the managers that don't have a job, bring back Ten Hag after lasting 2 games with Leverkusen? Xavi to Man United? Xavi would be, absolutely, he would not last, because he was at Barcelona, the only club he really knows, in Europe, is Barcelona. Going to Man United, which is a complete opposite, a club that hasn't won a league title since Sir Alex Ferguson. It's just a completely different thing for Xavi. So Xavi going to Man United would be an absolute wildfire. So there's not really other managers that you could come out and say, you're going to sack Rúben Amorim and you're going to get substantially better for the next 5 years. There's really not. There's nothing out there. All the top managers have jobs. Guardiola, City, Hansi Flick, Barcelona, Ancelotti with Brazil, Xabi Alonso with Leverkusen. Everybody already has an occupation. So the best case scenario is to give this guy a chance and actually see if he could turn it around by giving him time. Because if Sir Alex Ferguson took 7 years, then maybe Rúben Amorim needs 7 years. This is the holy grail of managers, Sir Alex Ferguson, and it took him 7 years. All right, so maybe Rúben Amorim should be given at least the same amount in order to succeed, because they've yet to give a manager 7 years to actually turn it around. Maybe if they were willing to give him time, he might actually be, successful. But anyways, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Will you give Rúben Amorim the same time that Sir Alex Ferguson got, or would you sack him soon?